Hello everybody, we have this Toyota Sienna and I just replaced the alternator on this guy, and I noticed there's a puddle on the ground. I wanted to figure out what's going on here, and you can see there's a radiator leak and it's actually been drying out. So this has a radiator leaking from the neck. I'll end up replacing the radiator for this. I'll let the customer know. But what we're gonna do right now is a change on this car, the vehicle speed sensor. This car has a code for the speed sensor, and I'm gonna end up replacing the input and output speed sensor. They both are under here. How we do that is by removing this entire section here. We're gonna leave the battery in place and then get this going. So first thing we need to do is basically disconnect the battery. So we got the battery out the way. I'll just put a rag on it and then terminal over it. Things move when you work. So got this guy disconnected. There you go. Slide this out. I also noticed that these vacuum lines are cracked and not connected. So this one probably needs to be here. This one probably needs to be here, but it's cracked, so it won't hold. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Next thing we need to disconnect is this vacuum line. And of course, this plug for the master meter. And we gotta remove this clamp here. Gonna open the air intake box by 2 10mm, one here, one there. The one in the back is right opposite side of this one. I'm gonna loosen this bolt for the clamp here. Got it. Let's move the box out of the way. Slide it out. This is how the box comes out. Alright, so there are bolts inside the box. We're going to remove those. Like 1, 2, 3. The box should slide out. There's no connection. Perfect. This would expose the sensor to us, which is right here. Perfect. This right here holds with 12mm bolt. So once we get that disconnected, right, there we go. This one would take some effort to pull it out because it's been seated. Here we go. This is your output sensor. Since we got a new one, we're just going to install that guy. I would put some oil or grease on the O-ring so it's easier to install. And installation is simple. You just slide it back in, push it down. I think it didn't sit. So the O-ring, to get the O-ring to sit properly, you would have to persuade a little bit, one way or another, I guess. After we got the O-ring to sit properly, you do want to double check the gap between the O-ring and the sensor. Make sure it's seated properly. We're gonna tighten it with 12mm. Perfect. There you go. I would, at this point, just inspect the plug, make sure the wires are in good condition. Plug it back in at this point. If the code comes back up, I'll just have to open this loom up and see where the wire goes. Hopefully there is no break anywhere. Right now, the customer brought me the car and asked me to change these things. There's no inspection request at this time, so we're not doing any inspection. The second sensor is underneath this guy. So for that, we will remove this 10mm. Got it. Take it. Slide it out. Perfect. The sensor is located right there. So we're going to replace that sensor as well. Process is the same. I'm going to remove that 12mm bolt, slide the sensor out, and plug it back in. I couldn't video that. It was a very difficult place. So here's the sensor. That's input sensor. You can see the magnetic prong is smaller. The output sensor has magnetic prong a little longer, and there's also color difference. So these are the two sensors you do replace for the speed sensor code, on a transmission speed sensor code. After that, we'll just put everything back together. I'm not going to put back together because customer did approve the radiator replacement. So next video I'm going to make is about how to replace the radiator for this car. And after that, I'll reassemble. But this is how you definitely do. Replace everything back the way you took it off. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.